Hi everybody, Jaya Savannah here, Holistic Business Guru. And today I wanted to do a free training for you about how to use quizzes and surveys and assessments on your website and your social media. So I know if you've been on Facebook more than 5 minutes, you've probably come across one of those fun viral quizzes that people share. And I think everybody likes to do those, and you can actually create those very easily and sometimes even for free, depending on what tool you use. So today I'm going to cover how to create a quiz and use it to boost your business. So first things first, if you are new to watching me on live streaming, this is still kind of a new feature on Facebook. I want to point you to a cool way that you can ask questions live, because you might be watching the replay later, but right now I'm live. And down below this video, you can leave comments, and those will show up on my side of the screen so I can actually answer your questions live. And you can also share this video just like you would any other Facebook post by clicking share, and then your friends can jump on and join the training. I'm not sure how long we're going to go today, probably about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. But I'll try to cover this as in-depth as I can. Okay, so first of all, what's the difference between a quiz, a survey, and an assessment? Okay, you might use all three of those in your business, but in different ways. So my definition of a quiz is that's a tool that you're going to use to be able to ask your people questions, but what's really great about a quiz is quiz software can actually score the answers and deliver the result straight to the person taking your quiz. So that's why they're so fun. They can be instant, and people get the scoring done right for them. Now compare that with a survey, and surveys I did a live stream training on not too long ago. After this is over, I'll paste some show notes down in the comments with a link to the video on how to do surveys. What surveys are a way for you to ask questions of people, but the answers don't deliver a result straight to the person who took your survey. That's more for you. Like, I use surveys fairly frequently when I'm creating new content. I want to know what kind of things people are interested in, and so I'll do a survey for that. Or you might do a survey for a customer satisfaction, or anything where you want to get feedback from people, but you're going to be the one looking at all the results and analyzing the data. That doesn't usually go back to the customer. Now, the third type of sort of questioning that you might do with people is an assessment. And assessment is sometimes delivers results like a quiz, but more for us guru types, typically how we'll do an assessment is we'll give our audience a form to fill out, right? Either online, or it can be, in your office as like part of your intake form questionnaire, right? And then we'll be reading those and usually delivering the results of the assessment, and our recommendations one-on-one with people, right? So typically an assessment is kind of an intense, in-depth one-on-one thing. All right, so that's a quiz, surveys, and assessments. So today we're going to talk about quizzes, and sometimes I'm going to look over here because I got some notes. All right. So why are quizzes so great to create? So for one thing, they create really fun social media engagement, right? People like to take them, they like to share them and chatter, You could also use a quiz kind of in a more serious way by creating it like a test. So if you have, say, an online course, you might want to give your students a quiz afterwards, right? Anytime you've done some sort of a training, you could do a quiz that way. Now, quizzes are also really great to position you as an expert. So they can be just really fun, kind of lighthearted, silly things, and those can go really viral. But you can also use them, to really show off your knowledge by the choice of questions that you ask people, and also, I think, especially so on the page that delivers people's results. So if you write really good descriptions and you know your audience really well and write up great results, you definitely can position yourself as an expert. And most of the quizzes we see are kind of fluffy and they're not that in-depth, so it's a chance to differentiate yourself that way. Now, quizzes also have the ability to go viral, right? And I think viralocity is elusive at times. Sometimes what you think is going to be super popular doesn't hit, and sometimes you'll do something that you're not even thinking is going to be popular, and it ends up being the one that really takes off, right? So you always have that potential to go viral, and as you're creating your quiz, you can try to make it very shareable. Now, the last reason why you might create a quiz is that it's a great way to grow your email list. Now, not all quizzes have email list building built in, but you can certainly do it that way. All right, so before I go on, in case some people are just joining us now, I want to let the new people know that you can ask me questions down below this video in the comments, and it'll pop up on my side of the screen, and then I can just answer you live. And so that's a little bit how that works. Okay, so let's go into free quizzes versus, free software versus paid quiz software. So let's say you're going to create a kind of a quiz that you want to embed on your website, and you also want to share it on Facebook. In fact, I'm going to back up before I go into free or paid. Let me just kind of explain how the different softwares work. So if you want to create a quiz on your website, it might be something you do just for fun, like in a blog post. Like one of my most popular quizzes is what type of spa business model should you be on? And that quiz did really well for me. A lot of people have taken it. Maybe you've taken it. And that's just something I put inside a blog post. It's not really advertised anywhere else on my site, and I mostly used it to share on Facebook. And that's where it really kind of took off. It was really fun in the groups. A lot of people liked that one. But some other people use quizzes as kind of like a main feature on your site. Like one of my clients, she has a gorgeous quiz that she does on what is your chakra imbalance, and her work is on holistic health and nutrition. She uses chakra work really heavily in it. She created a gorgeous quiz which is very prominently displayed on their materials and serves as something that you see right away when you go to her site. So it could be something that's part of your branding. You'll see things like course creators. I think Lorraine of Formula Botanica has one of these on her site, where she has a quiz about which program is right for you, because she offers different online courses, and she uses a quiz to help people go through the process of deciding which would be the best course to enroll in. See, so that can be a very useful quiz, and it guides people to a purchase decision. Or you can just have your quizzes be something just straight for Facebook that you do for fun to grow traffic on your Facebook page and that kind of thing. So you're going to have to decide, depending on how important the quiz is to your business model. Do you want to pay for it, or do you want to use a free one? So the main difference when you pay for quiz software is that they all at that level have email opt-ins built in. So they'll integrate, right in with your email list. And so if you want that ability to grow your list, you're usually going to be better going with paid. But, the other side of it is, maybe you're just dipping a toe in the water of the quiz pool. You're not even sure if you're going to enjoy the process of creating them. You're not sure if your audience is going to respond to them yet. You might just start with a free one. And I've tried out 3 different ones when I was building, my first quiz, and dived in deep to decide what I wanted to do. And I ended up going with a free one because I really don't see myself building quizzes very often. And I don't use one as a core feature of my website at this time. So at that point, I might switch it out. But here are sort of your choices of the top 3 that I think were the nicest of all the ones I looked at. And these ones I actually played around with a little bit. So the free one that I like is called Playbuzz, Playbuzz. I'll link it down below later. And Playbuzz you see a lot on Facebook already, tons. You've seen the interface, I'm sure. And Playbuzz is free, and what I actually really liked about it is, compared even with the paid ones, I found the whole quiz builder software the easiest to use. I actually enjoyed working with that quiz builder. It was a lovely experience. And the other thing I liked with Playbuzz is they have some tutorials that tell you how to build a good quiz, and they were great. They gave me lots of ideas for different ways to create quizzes, what kind of things people respond to, and depending on your type of business, Playbuzz also lets you take your quiz, and it's hosted on the Playbuzz site so that you can share your link on your social media and so forth. But if other people that like to share quizzes are on the Playbuzz site, and if your quiz gets featured, other people might actually share your content. Now, my thought on that is that most of us in the holistic realm, we're probably not going to go super viral at that level. A lot of those quizzes are, what's Lady Gaga's hottest outfit, right? There might be some kind of more like pop culture thing. So I don't know if you would really get that shareability from the Playbuzz site or not, but that certainly has that potential there. The other thing I thought was really cool about Playbuzz, and this is what I ended up doing, is if you have a WordPress site, Playbuzz includes a free plugin that you can install on your WordPress site, and it goes right to your account, and you can share your Playbuzz quiz right on your blog post page. It was like so easy. I really I like the whole Playbuzz experience a lot. The downside with Playbuzz is there's no way to tie it in with an email address. I don't think, unless there's a paid version. They might have a paid version. I didn't look into it. Like I said, I liked it because it was free. But what I did with Playbuzz is on the page where I delivered the results, I put just a tiny link that I forget what I said, but it was something relevant, to that content, saying, if you like this sort of thing for holistic businesses, click here for, free articles and something like that, something to kind of promote my email list. And I got about a 20% opt-in rate on that. And people totally subscribed because the content was on point for them. People, by the time they got the result and read it, they knew that I was someone that knew their issues, okay? And so I got a lot of opt-ins, even though it wasn't an official opt-in form, so it can work really well. Now, another service is called Typeform, Typeform. Now, I recommended Typeform in my last video on surveys because I really liked them for surveys, but you can also use them for quizzes. Now, there's a free version of Typeform, which doesn't give you the email opt-in, so I think that's why I like Playbuzz a little better for the free quizzes. But Typeform lets you do a paid quiz and tie it right in with your email address. So like how the customer flow with that works is, there's a few different ways you can do an email opt-in. So you can have the opt-in right up front, which will say, join our list and you get to take our survey. The downside with that is a lot of people, they may not have enough of a relationship with you yet to want to give up that email address right away. So if you put the opt-in gate up right up front, it might be a little bit of a high bar for some people to clear. Depends what it is, or maybe it might also depend on how well you entice people to want to take the quiz and how well you describe it. The other way you can do it is you can make the quiz free. And in fact, this is the way one of my clients does it, the one with the chakra quiz. I'll link her quiz down below too. It's really, really nicely done, and it's cool. She really knows her stuff. So how she has hers is the quiz is free, and you can get your result instantly, okay? But the results you get are kind of minimal. It's like a paragraph maybe. And yet right below the results that the Typeform delivers is a button that if you want to get the full detailed report, you can click that by putting in your email address, and then you get like this whole report on your result. So I feel like that's a really good way to do it because you're giving people something for free, and yet they can get more if they provide their email address. So you can do that with Typeform, and their forms look gorgeous. They have really nice mobilization, and they're flowy and beautiful graphics. So if you want to pay a little bit, I can't remember their price. It was fairly reasonable. They're a good choice for that. One thing I want to say about the opt-in process though is that, and I'm sure that you've probably taken quizzes where this has happened to you, some people have it so that you take the whole quiz and then you don't find out till after you've spent time taking the quiz that you need to provide an email address for the opt-in. And that sucks. Don't do that. I mean, a lot of people do that, but I mean, you feel kind of tricked, right, at that point because you weren't expecting to have to provide your email address for the results. So, like I said, if you're going to do it with an opt-in, make it so that they get something. That's like my client did it the perfect way. You get something for free without the opt-in, but there's a good incentive to get more information if they do provide the opt-in. So Typeform lets you do it that way, either way. And the third one I'll mention is a very popular service called Quizzer, and it's spelled in tech speak, not English, QZZR. There's no U after the Q, right? It says QZZR. And Quizzer, I actually started a free trial with that one because I thought the website seemed really nice at first, but what I found once I was actually in there was it wasn't as easy to build a quiz as I thought, and it was really expensive. I can't remember what it was, but the basic languaging of everything in there is that Quizzer is kind of geared more for a marketing agency. It's not really so much geared towards small business owners unless you want to get soaked. So I think you're better to go with Typeform for paid or Playbuzz for free. So again, if you're just joining us live, I want to let you know that you can ask questions down below. Just type them in the comments and they'll pop up on my screen and I can answer you live. All right. So, well, what do you put on a quiz? What's going to make engaging content, and how do you structure them? So, when I was looking at creating my first quiz, I kind of just reverse engineered what I saw on the Facebook quizzes, right? And what I think are probably the most popular are probably like one of three types. So you can do some kind of a personality quiz, and I think if your audience is especially mostly women, I think hands down that's probably the most popular, right? I mean, let's face it, we're all a little curious about ourselves, and so personality type quizzes are really popular. And I think that those also have a really high viral ability to them, that people want to share their results, right? So if you can think about your content and your knowledge in terms of personality types, basically the first step is to start to think about, what would be a good question? What's the premise of your quiz? And then think of the answers as being something that you could type, fairly easily. Like I think when I did my quiz on what spa business model you should be on, I think I just did 4 answers on that one, right? So you're either an employer, you're a solo, you're an independent contractor, you're an employee, and oh yeah, and I did a 5th funny one, which is maybe you should just be a spa customer, because hey, let's face it, it's a lot more fun to go to the spa than work in one sometimes, right? So, so keep it short, the results, and then break up your knowledge into these different types, something real simple. And the thing with that too is then you're going to have a number of questions. Now, if it's going to be something you're sharing on Facebook, it should be probably pretty short. Keep the questions to, I'd say 12 or less, and keep your responses to 5 or less, I would say is fair. You need to have enough questions on there that you can sort the answers out pretty clearly. So when you're writing, you're writing your questions, you're going to write a question, and in your mind, what type answer that question's going to be, right? And then you throw in the randomization, right? And the tools will help you do that. The quiz building tools will walk you through the process of creating randomized answers. So I think personality types are great. So let's make that a little bit more real. So it could be something like what type of product you would use. It could be that kind of a thing. Or are you, one quiz I've been meaning to do is how holistic are you? I think anybody could do that. It could be fun. Anything where you're typing people, or if you use in your work anything that involves personality types. Sometimes, in the holistic arts, it could be astrology, could be your Enneagram type. If you're already using a model that leads to a type answer, perfect for you. Okay, second type of quiz, which are really popular, are knowledge tests, right? So that's the trivia quiz type questions. It could be something really light, how much do you know about lavender essential oil, right? It could be, those kind of trivia questions, what they do is they make people test their knowledge. So it's going to appeal to someone that already kind of knows a little bit. And then the answers teach them more. And those knowledge tests also really position you as an expert, because if someone gets an answer even wrong, it shows the correct answer, and then that person is sort of learning as they're taking your quiz. So knowledge tests, I think, are very fun, and they have a high share factor as well. Okay, the third type quiz that seems to be really popular are, I don't even know what to call it, but it's like a decision maker type quiz. So this would be kind of like what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned Formula Botanica is which program is right for you quiz. It helps people make a decision about which program to buy, right? So if you have products, it could be about a product selection quiz. Can you gear that up that it helps people choose the right product for them? And again, that can be a really like a serious quiz. Maybe you have retail products and a skin type selector, or helping them figure out which is the right serum, or it can be helping them figure out something big like the whole range, right? Or it might just be fun, a fun quiz where you're helping them figure out, again, like you might have 3 or 4 different serums, which is the right one for them. So it could be something like that. It could be, anything really. It could help them choose the right service, the right product. You see these on Facebook, even things like, what city should you live in? It could be fun things like that. Anything that relates to your business that helps people kind of make a decision. Doesn't mean that you even have to act on the decision, right? Like, what country should you live in? It is technically a decision maker tool. Not too many people are actually going to follow it up. They're just kind of learning about what's right for them. So the last thought I want to leave you with is some how-tos. And one thing I learned the hard way is I started to just write up my quiz all out the gate. And if you've got a lot of flow, go ahead and put it down in a Word document and start to write it up. But before you get too deep into figuring out how to randomize it and score points for the different levels, go find your software that you want to use. Because what I have found is that they all have a little bit of a different flow for actually how you go about creating your quiz. And if you create your quiz in the same process as the software, it's a lot easier, so you won't hit dead ends. So just kind of follow the process they take you to. Definitely write out your answers ahead of time, but go through the process, and then they all have different ways of helping you score the answers, and it'll walk you through it. Like some of the ones I did had a correct answer, meant a certain type. Like if someone chose C, that meant they were type 3 over here. And other ones, they had it like a yes or no. Like I did one quiz on alternative health experts, and can you guess the expert by their face? And that was like a yes/no quiz. And so that's a different type of one. So go through the process for the type of quiz you want to make through the software. And the last tip I want to give you on creating your quiz is this. This may be fun for you. It may also be a headache. The second quiz I had done, the one on the alternative health practitioners, recognizing famous pros, the idea I had for that was really fun. It was like, okay, show a face of the person, and can you recognize it? And A, B, C, D, name that person, right? And the quiz itself was pretty easy. I just came up with a dozen experts, some of them really easy, and some of them more obscure and hard to tell. And the thing that was really time consuming about that wasn't coming up with the experts. That took me, not long at all. What was really hard was getting photos. And for all of these, if you want to do a quiz that's really dependent on photos, that is the time suck. So I don't know if I would do another one of those where I had to go get a bunch of photos. It took forever to do. So I think it's better to think in terms of written results, and then you throw in a few pictures to make it look pretty. But if it's really about looking at a bunch of pictures, it's going to take you time to collect all of those. So, well, I don't know if anybody else, I haven't seen any questions come through on this. I hope I answered your questions in advance. I will put some show notes down below. And if you have any questions, you may be watching the replay on this, feel free to type those questions in the box and answer them. And I'll give you a link to my quizzes down below too. Why don't you check them out? They're pretty fun. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.